We're back then with another in-depth breakdown for Marvel's Midnight Suns. This is a pretty special one. This is the secret unlockable character you get before the final mission in the game. It is of course the Incredible Hulk, and he is really incredible. It takes a long time to get him, but he's most definitely worth the wait. Now, I've actually had access to the game for the last few weeks. That's how I'm able to have Hulk unlocked and have him leveled up as the game has just come out. So I've got all heroes at max level, I've got all cards unlocked, upgraded to tier 2, and I've got all the friendships maxed out for the characters as well. So in this video we are able to cover absolutely everything you need to know. Now, just a breakdown of what we will be covering in order. So we start off with an overview first. We'll talk about the general playstyle for Hulk. There's lots of smashing going on there. We'll break down his cards, so it's 10 cards in total and they're all upgraded to tier 2. We'll talk about preferred stats for him. We'll talk about Hangouts. Next up it's the challenge missions, and then finishing up we'll show off some gameplay of him, and he absolutely smashes the gameplay. I knew he was going to do good in it, but I was really happy how the footage turned out, so you're going to really enjoy that when you see it at the end. Now, with this video, if you find it helpful, take the time to hit the like, share and subscribe button, and if you want early access to other videos in this series such as this, consider becoming a channel member as well. But let's dive in, let's start breaking this down. In Marvel's Midnight Suns then you have 3 different character types. You've essentially got your damage characters, your support characters, and then you've got tanks. You've got some heroes that are almost hybrid style characters. Now, the ones that I've looked at so far that are hybrid characters, they're decent at both roles, but they don't really excel at either. Now, Hulk is a hybrid character. He's a brawler and a tank character, but he excels at both. He is absolutely amazing. Now, he's got a rage mechanic which you can build up via certain cards you can play or for taking damage. When you're maxed out with rage, you can do close to an extra 180% damage, so it does take a while to get him ramped up, but once you've got him ramped up and angry, he can absolutely demolish everything. From a tanking perspective as well, just as an example, your typical character in the game, be it a tank style character, will have around about 800 health. With Hulk, there is a mechanic you can use to get his health up to around about 3,500, which is just completely awesome. So that is a quick breakdown of how he plays anyway, so let's jump in now and start breaking down his cards. So heroes then have access to 10 cards in total. That includes a legendary card. The legendary card for Hulk is absolutely amazing. We'll look at it in just a few minutes. The cards we'll look at today will be the tier 2 upgraded version that we'll break down. We're not going to get into mods because each of the different heroes and their cards has a ton of mods. I'm still collecting information on them, and I feel that the mods, to be honest, could be their own separate video. There really is that much to go into with them, so we'll just be looking at the base cards here. Now, the first one we look at, as far as I'm aware, all the other characters in the game have a card that will have the quick mechanic attached to it, and that means when you use it on a lower level minion, you take them out, you get a card refund. Hulk doesn't have anything like that. He may get it through mods, but he doesn't have a card such as that. The most basic card he has, and one that you want to use 1 or 2 copies of, this is called Smash. So this applies stun. Stun means the enemy can't move for the next turn, which is pretty useful. You'll gain rage, so the rage mechanic, we've touched on it to an extent, but you've got 5 different pips. For each of these pips you can gain roughly 30% additional damage, and there's various ways you can build it. You can see you can gain 1 rage from using this. Normally your attack cards will use rage, but you can see it says here as well, this does not consume rage. Also with this card, and you get this when you upgrade it to tier 2, if the target has full health, then you're gaining it's round about double damage in this. So for a basic card that's generating 1 energy and it's not costing you any heroism or anything like that, it's doing round about 200 damage. That's before you've got any rage, so that's actually really pretty amazing. So you want to use 1 or 2 of these cards. The next card we have here is Gamma Kick. It doesn't actually do any base damage, this particular one, but it has forceful knockback. So when you forcefully knock back an enemy, the chances are you will knock them into another enemy or an explosive barrel or such, so you will still be doing damage with it. You've also got Taunt added on with this, and you've got Apply 1 Weak as well. So this is a tank style card. You'll use it on your really hard hitting enemies. You'll be knocking them back, doing damage. You'll be making sure in the next turn they'll attack Hulk, and when they do so, because they have weak, they'll be doing 50% less damage. So if you're going for a tank style setup on them, then you want to have one of these in your deck. The next card we have here is Crush. This actually ties in with the first card we had, Smash. That card was able to add stun to enemies, so after you've added stun, if you use this card, you've got a decent amount of base damage. If the target has stun, you're doing, in this instance, I think it's around about an extra 150% damage. Once again, that's before you start building up your rage. If you get a KO with this, and the chances are pretty high you should get a KO, then it doesn't consume any rage either, and that's really quite important, so you can start building that up. If you're aiming more for the tank side of things over a brawler, then you'll want to have one or two of these in your kit, depending on how tanky you want to be. So this is called Always Angry. So with this, you consume all rage. In this instance, the level I'm at, I'm recovering 256 health. That's per pip of rage, and you can get between 5 and 6 pips. Overhealing increases your maximum health, and you increase your maximum rage by 1 when you use this. It does have exhaust, so once you've used it, it won't come back into your kit. Done a bit of testing with this. Base health in Hulk starts off at 800. When I used this once, I got 2100. When I used it again, I was up to 3400 health, which is just absolutely bonkers. There are some heroes that can actually allow you to replay cards that have exhaust on them. So I imagine if you played around enough, you could probably get close to around about 5000 health in Hulk, which would just be completely insane. So if you're going for a tank setup, this card is a must. So this card here is really nice for building up your rage, so you can use this just before you use Always Angry, so that way you've got max rage and you're gaining the max health, or if you're about to fire off a particularly hard hitting skill, you can build up your rage via this, so you can do up to, again it was close to 180% additional max damage. So it's called Challenging Roar. It's got taunt on it. You gain 1 rage for each enemy targeting Hulk, and you gain 1 counter as well. So on your next turn, a lot of enemies will be targeting you. You'll have a ton of rage, meaning you'll do more damage, and you'll be hitting them back as well. So absolutely awesome. Once again, you want to pair this alongside the previous card, Always Angry. It works out really nice from a tanking perspective. The next card we have here is a very iconic Hulk skill. This one is Thunderclap. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but from a utility perspective, if you're going for a tank setup, it can be really nice. So this one will knock back enemies, and it applies stun to each enemy in a line. So again, stun means enemies not taking their turn on the next one, so you're essentially delaying them doing any damage to you at all. The fact you can hit numerous enemies in a line is really pretty useful, but once again, it's not really a card you would use on a brawler setup. It's one you would use on a tank setup where you're using crowd control to actually give you some survivability. This next card here is Rampage. This can do a good amount of damage, but you do need to build up your rage first. So this one here, heroic card, it costs 3 heroic energy, you're chaining 3 times, you're taunting, and if you do the full combo, that's if you do all 3 attacks on one enemy, you'll be doing a ton of damage on them, but you'll gain 1 heroism back, so meaning the card only costs 2 heroism, which is really pretty low for the amount of damage you can put out with this. So if you're going for a brawler setup, you want to use this. This next card here is a really hard hitting one. It does cost quite a lot, the fact it's 4 heroic energy, but you can see the base damage on it is absolutely massive. It's 3 times of the last card we look at. So this one here, you'll be damaging enemies and you taunt each enemy in an area as well, and it's got an increased area effect when you upgrade it to tier 2. So this is an amazing hybrid card. You're doing damage, but you're taunting as well. We have Mighty Blow Up next. I'm not a massive fan of this card. It does a nice amount of damage. It's 3 heroic energy. It has forceful knockback, and the target has stun. You're doing additional damage to them, but for 3 heroic energy, the fact you need the setup of them having stun in the first instance, and it's a single target attack, don't really rate this one too much. I would much rather use the previous card over this particular one, but let's check out the final card. So this next card here is absolutely bonkers. The AoE on it near enough covers the entire screen, and imagine if you upgrade the AoE stat on Hulk, something we're going to talk about in the next section, then you probably could cover the whole screen with this. It costs quite a lot. It is 6 heroic energy, but when you ramp up your rage, the damage in this is just amazing. You one-shot the majority of the screen when you actually use this. So the specifics of it anyway, it's damage and forceful knockback, so the enemies will be flying everywhere, hitting into each other, doing additional damage, that's to every enemy in the AoE area. You also gain 1 rage for each KO, so the chances are you should be able to fill your rage all the way back up after using this. It of course has exhaust on it, so you can't use it multiple times. So amazing card from a damage perspective, and one of the strongest legendary cards that's in the game. But that's all the cards for Hulk. Some really pretty amazing cards there. Let's talk about his stats next. Via the research system in the game then you will unlock something known as daily sparring. Now with your daily sparring there'll be a random stat that's picked each day, and you can go in and you can choose which hero you want to actually train on that particular stat. So when it comes to Hulk, if you're looking to really focus in on him, if you want to go for a brawler build, you will of course go for your crit chance and your crit damage. I can't imagine the damage you'll be able to do once his crit chance and damage are up, because they're pretty low for me at the moment and he is still really smashing everything. If you want to go for a tank style setup, then I would go for willpower. This will allow him to regen a portion of his health at the end of each turn. So that's the stats. Let's now talk about Hangouts and the friendship system. So the friendship system is one that allows you to unlock your legendary Midnight Suns card, your Midnight Suns costume and a passive. Hulk doesn't actually have that at all, that's why we're just standing here looking at Bruce Banner, we're not doing anything else at all. So you don't have a passive for him, but he does have his rage, which in a way is an inbuilt passive that you don't have to unlock. You can't gain stats via your friendship system, but you can gain the stats via the daily sparring. So it's very important if you want to have Hulk as one of your 3 main characters, you make sure you do your daily sparring on him when it is available. So yeah, not a great deal to cover there because he really doesn't use this particular system. Next up, let's talk about the challenge system. This is where you unlock your legendary card. In order to unlock your legendary card, then you have to finish what is essentially a puzzle of sorts on each of the 13 different heroes that's available. Some of these are really tricky. They require you to be exact in regards to how you actually do this. You can't waste a single move. Quite a few of them took me around about an hour or two to actually figure out, so that's why I'm showing them off in this video. Basically what you want to do is the footage I'm playing here, make sure you copy it exactly and you will be able to unlock the legendary Midnight Suns card for Hulk that we've already seen, and it is a pretty amazing card. But I'll let this gameplay play out, and then for the final section I'm actually going to show off some gameplay of Hulk fighting alongside a team of it's Nico Minoru and also Doctor Strange as well. So we've got some general gameplay playing in the back here. Now the team setup we're using for Hulk, I went for 2 support based characters. The reason being that I mentioned earlier on in the video, Hulk is a hybrid character, but he very competently actually fills the role of being a brawler and a tank character, so you don't need, for example, one of each at all. You can just go in with 2 support and they're essentially supporting Hulk, and you'll see in this gameplay it does work really well for him. So overall, absolute amazing character. It takes a long time to actually unlock him, but I would say it's worthwhile, and I can't wait to see some of the damage numbers we'll be able to get on him once he's prestiged more levels and once you get access to more stats on him via your daily sparring as well. So that's everything you need to know for Hulk. Once again, incredible character. If the video has been helpful, take the time to hit a like, share and subscribe button, and again, if you want early access to the other videos in this particular series, consider becoming a channel member as well. But I'll leave you with this gameplay. Enjoy this, thanks for tuning in, stay safe, and I'll see you all again soon.
We've knocked another mystic out of the ritual. Almost there. Mystics are digging deeper, reaching for something to call for.
You don't do that! Shouldn't fight with Hulk! Good friend!
It's remarkable how well Hydra manages to attract new recruits despite decades of ineptitude. That's the spirit.
Let me help. Is it just me, or do I look different?
No getting up!
We've done it.